Hey, you better stop when you mess up my camera. Oh!
Do yourself a favor. Stop whatever you're doing, whenever you're doing it, wherever you're doing it. Make sure you tap in with True Finesse the podcast.
You can hear it, right?
Now we can hear it. Now we can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he be right there.
Everything's going as right.
Yeah. As it can.
Okay.
They trying to shoot
What
down
you got to
my
say?
flight.
Not Delta.
Before it lands. But you can miss me with all that.
Yeah.
Diss me then crawl back.
And he was vibing with the hoodie.
Wish y'all
He
fall
was going crazy.
Alright.
But getting rich
This is
is
we
all
about to go
that.
all bad though.
Yeah.
These days
When they make offers and who the hell am I to say?
no.
My ex saying late night text cause she don't know how to let Welcome. How y'all doing?
Hey, I was riding that.
He was riding. This is your boy DBZ. I have.
Q-Mania, aka Quartermine.
There you go. I also have.
Hi, it's Yazmen Renee.
Ooh, Yazmen Renee.
Got my soul over there, yes.
What's
You know
going
what I'm
on?
saying?
What's
So,
going on?
what's up, son?
Since
What's up,
2010.
Right. What's up? What's going on,
happening?
y'all? How y'all doing?
This is True Finesse the podcast. We are back with y'all. We are here alive and well. Time to get things popping.
Yeah, how you doing today? How's y'all day?
Man,
Had a good day?
ooh, you answered that first time.
It was pretty good. Had a few clients, but just chilled for the most part.
Okay.
Shit,
Not
yeah.
too much. Not too much.
We got to get into that.
Yeah.
Few clients.
Fine, who she singing?
Yeah, what kind of clients you got?
Right. All types.
I heard that.
What about you, my brother?
Man, myself, I had a long day of work. As y'all know, I sell cars, do my thing, I dabble. Sometimes I get home late. Gotta close the deal. Got to.
ABC always be closing, right?
Always be crazy.
Always be closing.
It'd be crazy. But go ahead and tell us about your day, bro.
Listen, working remote is lovely, guys. Had another chill day. Played a little Call of Duty. Watched some Last of Us.
The Last of Us. That's a
Had
good
a nice little lunch. It's a TV show.
TV show, my bad.
On HBO Max. They changing it back. HBO Max is no longer Max anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, had a nice relaxing day. I didn't take a nap, so I'm proud of myself. So, small victories, guys, small victories.
My boy,
That's unusual. You're not taking a nap.
I know I'm trying to, just take more, take advantage of my day a little bit more.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool.
He's
Get
one
2
of those
hours
sleep
back.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, he be loving that since I know him.
It's called energy consumption
Okay,
or conservation. I don't know. It's energy something.
Yeah.
Transfer maybe.
transfer your energy to
Yeah.
certain places you want to go.
Exactly. Yeah. In my psyche, in my subconscious.
That's what we do. Anyways, guys, let me bring this back together. We do have a special guest. Her name is Yazmen Renee. She's already said it and popping live. But what the people want to know is, who is Yazmen Renee?
Who is Yazmen Renee? I mean, you probably know me as a lot.
Many areas.
Yeah. As of now, I'm a therapist.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of transitions over
Okay.
the years.
I'm telling you.
I hope it's
but
good
yeah.
transition.
Yeah, good transitions, bad transitions, life transitions. But yep, I am a therapist now. I am graduating in July.
Okay.
But I already got the degree.
Turn up.
Yeah.
Speak of
I'll be walking in July, but I already have the degree. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm a mom, I'm a friend, all that.
Ooh, a mom, a friend,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
You make folks feel all cozy and warm on the inside. That's
Right.
what you're doing?
Right. Yeah. With mental health, being a therapist, that is the overall gist of what I do.
Really?
Mental health.
Hopefully.
Before we get to what you're doing right now, I know you mentioned that you've had a lot of transitions.
Yeah.
So since I've known you, you've worn many hats. That's one thing. Anything Yaz puts her mind to, she will get it popping, and she will promote it and go hard. Like, there's no small thought I want to do this, and she jump in the pool and oh, never mind. Like, So I know
I
that
appreciate
you
that.
like literally hustle and flow.
That's you grinding.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, for real. Like, so I've known that you have the talent to do flowers, floral bouquets. You were doing that. You're a model, successful model.
He's a model?
Yes.
Stop playing.
She did that. What else had you going on?
Almost everything.
Right.
I've done, like you said, model. I've done acting.
I forgot about yes.
So lashes, had shades, had boutique.
I forgot all about that. I
Fixed
forgot about
credit.
the acting.
You know, a lot. I've had a lot of lives.
Jazz was acting when she had her Nia Long haircut. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
We put a name to that a minute ago. You are a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Let them know.
Yes. I was a serial entrepreneur.
Oh, was.
Yes.
Well, ain't no
Past
listen.
tense.
If you can do it, you can do it again.
If it's
like
English,
riding a
it's
bike.
It is, but before it was more so just trying everything to see what was the avenue to take.
Okay.
And then getting into mental health, it kind of mainstreamed. Like I felt like, okay, this is my lane.
Okay.
And now I want to become more of a serial entrepreneur in that lane instead of so many other different lanes.
So
you know,
focusing. You found your industry.
right. So getting more into like therapy. Okay, yeah, giving one-on-one individual therapy, but also like getting into tech within therapy.
Oh.
Also like corporate wellness, so doing more of corporate instead of that one-on-one.
Okay.
So more so like instead of like going more so B2B in business,
Right.
instead of like consumer. I feel like it's a little harder. It was a little harder for me being an entrepreneur to just go after the consumer. I want the business.
No, that's lit. And I mean, I have experience with that corporate kind of the emotional wellness retreats and stuff like that. 'Cause I've done that with my leadership team, and they've done the thing where it's like, you know, we have 10 attributes that the team voted you least likely to have, and it's like, so how can we work on you being a better communicator and a better motivator? So stuff like that, and I can see like you have a personality for that. Like,
thank you.
You can really do that, and it probably comes from like your experiences, right? Like you, like I said, with all of those hats that you've worn.
Yeah,
I'm sure that you interacted with 1 million plus people, so you know how to read people. I'm sure, and how to how to assess. You know, just do a little quick like, okay, you know, they all right. They might get a little something going on. Yeah. Especially, I know that with me. Shoot, that's one thing that we've had many sessions pro bono. I'm sure I prepared you for what you got going on now.
Right. All of my friends, all my family definitely have prepared me. It wasn't until like certain things started happening in family or in friend groups that I even realized like maybe I should be a counselor. Like maybe I've been chasing the wrong thing.
Talking to them, helping them.
I've always kind of been like the person that gives advice, or the person that kind of calms the situation down, or the person that kind of empowers somebody to do something. Or so I was like, maybe I could make a career of this. So that's what made me go into mental health, is actually going through certain circumstances with other people or situations, and I'm like, okay, I help that person. Let me get paid to do this with other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually how it happened. It's being there for like friends and family.
Okay.
I like this.
I like that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, of course.
You want to repeat what you said?
I'm glad I can
End up
contribute.
wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll charge your insurance. It's pretty soon.
I guess some folks will want to know a little bit more of the background story as to expound on some of those experiences that you went through. I want to know in particular about the acting and the modeling and how that transitioned into where you are now, but you can expound on more if you like.
Okay, so yeah, with modeling, I started modeling younger, in high school. I always wanted to be an actress, but getting into modeling, especially in Atlanta, it was a little different because it was just a little bit more urban, I would say.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing. It was just the market at the time when I started modeling, which wasn't bad for me. I still was booked for certain things, so it never really like stopped me from doing anything, but it just wasn't what I thought. You know how you have that dream and then you try to go after it and it's like, oh, I actually don't like this. So pull back. But for me, doing it was great. It was something I was natural at.
Very natural.
Thank you. It was something I was natural at, something I was good at, but it wasn't something I was like passionate about. Right. And with modeling and acting, to me personally, I just went through a phase where I was like, I don't want people to know me or like me or want me, like I don't want to be booked for how I look. I want to be booked for what I have to say or my mindset. Because I would walk in rooms and like for photo shoots and I would have a conversation and they're like, oh my gosh, you talk so well. And I'm like, well, did you think I was going to come in here and what?
Talk like a ratchet?
Yeah.
Or not even talk at all.
Yeah, like just like, they were like, yeah, you talk very well. I'm like, yeah, kind of it's cool to talk. Because I went to Georgia Southern for journalism. So I've always kind of like multimedia journalism. So I used to do the news.
Shout out to GSU.
Of course, it's the only way. But so going into that was like something that made me want to go into acting and modeling once I graduated. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. Like I said, I wanted to be more known for like helping other people or doing more than just like acting and modeling. Yeah. I didn't want it to just be like looks.
No, that's fair. So there's more to me than just what you see.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I was like, get to know me more. But you know, it doesn't hurt to be judged by your looks sometimes.
If you got it, you got it.
Like you know,
you look good.
You can't help that.
No.
But yeah, it was definitely something. It was definitely a transition, but it was like also a reality check for myself. You can do a lot more than just that. Yeah. Right. Not saying anything's wrong with just doing that. That's perfectly fine. But for me personally, it just wasn't that.
You had different outlook, mindset, train of thought of what you want to do overall.
Absolutely.
And I admire that ambition to be able just to pivot like that, just like say something that, like you said, you were doing the modeling and acting since you were younger, and then going into your early adult life, and saying, okay, you know, after X amount of years, this ain't it no more, and just being able to pivot and not look back and only look forward. So that's a strong attribute to have, just to be able to move forward and to take the experiences that you have, like you said, I have the looks, but I also have a mind, and I can talk. And if people are telling me that, you know, I have both, then damn, let me use. I'm always going. Well, not always, but you gonna have the looks, but you can build this mind, and you can let other people see another side of you. So being able to pivot like that is definitely cool. Yeah,
it's important too, and it's important to know when to pivot. Sometimes we think we're feeding the dream, but we're kind of like feeding our ego to succeed in that dream. But sometimes it's just not for you. But we force it, or we don't do certain things because we've been talked out of it out of fear or different instances. So it's really important to pivot. I've always pivoted. As I told you guys, I've had many different things. So I've never been afraid to pivot. I've never been afraid to just learn something new, because now it does help in being a therapist, because with me having did so many things, when I come in contact with certain people, I'm able to give a resource or help them with this. Like, oh yeah, I tried that. Maybe you should do this. Or if I've learned something, like if, for example, when I did credit, if I have a client who's having an issue with their credit and like, I just don't know how to get my credit up. It's really affecting my everyday life. Oh yeah, try this if you do. So it's just, the more you know, the more you can help in this profession. So that helped. Oh,
that's deep. That's deep. I guess one thing I would ask is, when you're making that pivot, what is one thing that you feel like is a thought that would hold you back before doing it? And then when you did make the pivot, what was the, this makes sense, or light that shined to you?
So when pivoting, I think just knowing, like when moving forward, that thought is that sometimes we talk ourselves out of things before we even get to start it.
Right.
And because I know that, then I know that, okay, I'm trying to talk myself out of it.
Yeah, literally.
So when you realize that and you're like, I'm not listening to you, because you can't, you can't really listen to every thought you have.
That's true.
Sometimes you just got, okay, whatever, and go forward with it anyway.
Okay.
So that's always something I did. It's never that I wasn't scared. Like, I was always scared.
Yeah.
I was always scared to put these things out, like to start marketing different things. I know that, like, that my thought was always, oh, I know, here she go again with a whole different venture, you know. But I never let it stop me. Like, y'all gonna think whatever y'all want anyway, so let me just try to get this money. You know, that's how I thought. Like, it is what it is. And people who really supported me always supported it. And then when I come in contact with people, no one's ever like, girl, you try everything. Are you crazy? They're more like, wow, you try everything. That's actually really cool. Mm-hmm. So I used to think that me trying everything was like, I thought it was bad. I used to be like kind of ashamed a little bit of trying everything, because I felt like everybody had their thing, especially like, you know, in like being in our friend group or whatever. I feel like everybody had their like niche, and I was the only one that was like, couldn't figure it out. But that actually, at one point I had to realize, like, that's what I think is my weakness is actually my strength. Yeah. Because I'm able to pivot. I'm not afraid to go for it. I'm not afraid to make that move, whereas some people are afraid, so they stay in that lane.
That complacency.
So I'm like, yeah, if I feel like moving, I'm gonna move, kind of thing. And you know, I move. I move sometimes. Yeah.
Get that low, like,
so I've never been afraid to make that move. It's just something that my parents probably instilled in me. Like, just go for it. Why not? Yeah. If I don't, I'm be in the same position. If I do, at least I did something different. So that's how I always just.
No, that's lit. And I mean, once again, just not to continue to boost Yaz, but
let's boost Yaz. This
is boost, but like
what the show's about.
She literally is like no lies are told. Let me say that. Mm-hmm. Like you take all those experiences, they make you stronger. I see that, and you put that out into the world. So like, it's like you were saying, you help others. And that's one thing I kind of want to if we could steer it back into, you know, the whole therapy bag and everything.
We're just getting there.
It's so like how you take all those experiences. Do you feel that makes you a stronger, or not make you a stronger therapist, but does it give you a stronger foundation to help people because you've been through everything versus somebody who's like book taught and like, listen, I read that if you have bad credit, I read that you need to call this 1-800 number. 1-800 like you can't really tell anybody something, but
absolutely. I do think that my experiences have helped, because I think it helps me connect with people more. Because they're like, what is she talking about? They're like, oh, you went through this. Like, because you know, I did leasing too at some point. So just being able to be like, yeah, girl, you don't have to have the perfect credit to get your apartment. You could just do this, do that. And they're like, what? You've been through that? It helps them to see that I'm relatable, because sometimes being a therapist, they're already coming in thinking of you away. Like, oh, they're gonna judge me. What can I say? What can't I say? Is this really a safe place? So the more I share myself just a tad, because of course you gotta stay professional, but the more I open up to my clients, the more they open up to me. So if I'm letting them know, like, yeah, like I've been through that, or how to walk them through, it makes them feel more comfortable, and they get they share more. The more comfortable they are, the more they share, the more I can help them. Because the more you share, the more I can be like, oh, well, let's connect this to that, and the more I can help you cope or figure out what you need to do in certain situations, the more open you are. So, yeah, it definitely does help versus someone who just has that book. It's not as genuine. And you may not connect with someone who's like that.
You don't know me.
Verse 2 says you need to do this and it's gonna work.
It gets like that. Sometimes you gotta tap into the book. But also life experience is just, I always tell people, Because I get the question of why did you become a therapist?
Dang, that was coming. You got to answer for yourself.
Sorry,
Go ahead
sorry,
and answer. Go ahead and answer. Let's go.
I always get that question, especially from clients, of why I became a therapist. And I became a therapist. I always tell them it's like sometimes you become who you needed.
Right.
So I knew, like, as being younger, that I went to therapy, and that was what helped me through a lot of different things that I went through. So going through it, it was something that actually changed my life. So I was like, I want to be that person for somebody else. And that's why I became, a therapist.
Oh, wow. Since we're back in our therapy bag.
Right.
Therapy bag. I know my friend wanted to get there for the longest. I just wanted to find out more information of who Yaz was prior to the therapy, because I'm not just all about what you do. I like to get on the show.
He don't know. He ain't got history like we do.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't down in Georgia Southern. He was down like
I wasn't, and I remember where I met you at. I don't know if you remember where I met you at, but I remember where I met you.
Yeah.
Funny times. You gotta be like, where? Panama City.
Really?
Yeah.
Panama City.
Spring break.
I ain't never been down.
Excuse me.
Spring break, fun times, crazy times.
At least you ain't say Orange Crush. I would have just both of y'all said Orange Crush.
That's weak.
We was my bad.
You know what I'm saying?
My bad, big
Anyways.
travelers.
And college travelers.
Listen.
We had that refund check and was lit.
Yes.
Everybody, about 20 people in the hotel room. Huh?
Yeah, we had about 8 inside.
I
I knew what everybody was doing. Allison and Jeremiah came too.
Oh, Lord.
Again. But back to this bag. As far as you become who you needed, who was the therapist, and what did they say to you that actually helped you get through some of the things that you were, and how did you use it to build what you're doing now?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. So I went to therapy. My first time going to therapy, it was like 2012. I had just left Georgia Southern, and I just was having a hard time. My grandmother had actually just had passed that February, and I went home for the summer, and I wasn't gonna come back that next semester. But I went during that. I went home early, and I would have crying spells, which is like you're like consistently crying every day, and people would ask me, "What's wrong? Like, what's going on? Why are you feeling that way?" And I did not know what to say, and I did not know how to describe it. And it was a time where I would during that time I would sit and I would watch traffic, and I would be like, one of these cars I'm gonna walk in front of. And that was 2012, and it got to that point, and my mom was like, "Okay, no, we have to go see somebody."
Okay.
So we went to see a therapist, and I never forget it. We sat in the office. I was having a crying spell right then and there, like just crying uncontrollably. And she told me, she said, by doing that, why would you want to do something so permanent because of something that is maybe temporary in your life? And at that moment for me, it was like, okay, she's saying that because obviously I won't be going through this feeling for forever. But when you have anxiety or you have depression, it's not, you want to know when you will get better. Not how, all that other, no, when, what day, what time, where do I need to be? Because you want that feeling over.
Yes.
So when she said that, it made me realize, like, you know what, I can get through this.
Now, those are some strong words.
Yeah.
Please say one more time what she said to you.
She said that, why would I want to do something so permanent because of things in my life that may be temporary?
Wow.
You had to digest
Wow.
Yeah. I was literally crying, and then she said that, and I was like,
That's strong.
wow. And that was actually my first and last time ever seeing her. I never seen her again after that. I literally left, and I was like, I don't know what she did. In that room, I was just...
She cracked your back.
She literally, and I literally walked out, and that was like, it changed everything for me.
That was her hypnosis.
I think that's a perspective that would help a lot of people.
Yeah.
If they truly understood it.
Absolutely. Because the things we do go through are temporary. And we don't feel that way. And I always tell people with anxiety or depression, those kind of things, those kind of disorders, or I won't even call them disorders because that kind of has a negative tone to it. But going through anxiety or depression, it's like you versus you. And it's really, really hard because I always tell people I'd rather fight anybody than fight myself because I know my weaknesses.
Exactly.
I know my deep things that I deal with. You know, I know my trauma.
And you can turn that on
and
yourself.
I can turn that on myself by my thoughts being negative. So that's why I'm always like, no.
And then nobody else is going to understand that. And
exactly. And that's why it's so important for a lot of people who are mental health therapists have went through a lot of mental health, because we can, when I say that to a client of it's you versus you
can relate.
Immediately they look at me like, that's exactly what it feels. And I'm like, yeah, I know how you feel because I felt it. So I'm able to describe that feeling that you feel is indescribable. Because like I said, when I had my crying spells, I didn't know how to tell people that I feel like I'm fighting myself.
Right.
I didn't know how to get people to understand that.
But that's
that's exactly what it feels like, because that's what it is. It's your negative thoughts. But it's not that you can't be positive, but your negative thoughts are taking over.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to, and I always tell people, your brain is tricky. So you kind of have to trick it before it tricks you, kind of thing. Like when you get those negative talk, you positive self-talk too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yep, balance.
That's deep. I used to have a coworker, Clifton. He used to say sometimes in your mind you gotta semi be delusional.
Yeah.
About some of the good things and the positive things that you would want, and a lot of the times it stuck with me. I know some of the things that I want to do, and when I pitch it to you, sometimes it could probably seem like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
But when stuff turn around and it just starts going,
when it happens. But
yeah, because it's two sides to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have a negative thought, we also can make it positive or change that. Like
it's like glass half full, half empty.
Yeah, and it's not saying to ignore the negative thought. Like the negative thought's gonna happen. It's okay to think that, but also replace it with a positive thought too.
Yeah.
So if it's like, if I'm having a bad day and I'm like, oh, this day sucks, and then the positive thought could be, well, maybe it'll get better.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm not having a bad day. Maybe I'm having a bad hour, of my day. That's okay.
Yeah.
So it's like balancing that day out of negative self-talk, but also adding positive self-talk to it too, because two things can be true.
That's one of the reminds me of the same saying in our company, or not our company, probably in our team, probably just some person told me at work. But it's like, think about if something that happens in 5 seconds will bother you 5 minutes from now.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, if it's not going to bother you 5 minutes from now, don't dwell on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's just a 5 second moment that happened. You're going to be past it in 5 minutes, not even thinking about it. Probably think about something else. So that's something that kind of reminds me of a similar saying. It's like, I guess everybody has something similar along the mindset of everything isn't permanent.
Right.
And they're different industries or something like that. That's the little IT jargon that they gave me. You have the therapist bag, and you have your optimistic. I don't call it.
I am very optimistic. I ain't gonna lie.
He's a positive person. This guy thinks that anything can happen. And then I be trying to be realistic, and then I be like, damn, this shit happened. Like something that shouldn't have happened. Like, it's like, oh, okay.
Which proves anything can happen.
Literally.
But
that's why it's balance, bro. That's my brother. Balance, bro.
Yeah. Balance.
It's like yin and yang type ordeal. Like he would be on a movement about, yo, we need to do this, we need to do that, and I'd be like, no, I don't think we need to. But then he'll tell me why we need to do it, and everything would just work out.
And then do his way. All right. I guess no, gotta do it this time. Like
compromise.
It worked this time.
Yeah.
But next time we might need to think about it.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Compromise.
We've been in a situation.
But that's like my brother. That's like, we make it through.
Yeah, that balance. You gotta help each other out.
Literally.
Work together.
Literally.
Teamwork.
So I personally feel that being a therapist with dealing or listening.
Before we keep going to the therapist stuff, like this is the question that keeps bothering me. A therapist, are you like a psychiatrist, psychologist? Like, can you give out medicine? What's going on? Like, what's the difference?
So a psychiatrist can prescribe medication.
Psychiatrist?
Yes, psychiatrists. They prescribe medication and they do assessments as well. we work very closely, but we are more of, I would say, like the holistic part of mental health, where we give you strategies and coping mechanisms in order to, instead of medication. But some people see both. Some people see a psychiatrist to get the medication, to make sure that they're taking the right dosage, things like that. And then they also go to therapy because they work hand in hand.
So is therapy psychology?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yep.
Like,
It's
what
all
does
the
it fall
study
into?
of like the brain, how the emotions work, the psychology of that. Whereas like sociology is like social, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we fall under that umbrella of mental health is psychology. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my bad. So back to previously
Sorry about that.
scheduled programming. I just
Sometimes questions get missed.
Yes.
We're gonna put that in a rabbit hole and
Y'all ain't pulled out the Rolodex today.
Like, why the fuck does it even matter now?
And rolled on down the line.
Exactly.
But anyway, as I was saying, you hear a lot of people's problems, their issues, their things. How do you not take all that in?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the way that you don't start receiving these negative things and start seeing these stuff for yourself? I know I'm asking it weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way to ask it.
What is your coping?
No.
How
do you deal with their issues on your own?
I don't take it personal, and I don't take it in. I don't internalize what they're going through.
Mm.
I'm a separate entity from them. And I don't take their. Do I feel like, oh man, I hope that this gets better? Of course. But do I take on their problems? No. I'm not sure why. Some people do take on their problems and they get like compassion fatigue, which is where you kind of get tired of
feeling bad for people.
Feeling bad for people. That's how you get a lot of people in healthcare that have that. They don't have too much compassion when it comes to certain things because you get compassion fatigue. And it happens a lot in helping careers where you do get that passion fatigue, compassion fatigue, where you kind of just get tired of, like, you either get tired or it drains you. You take on people's problems. That's a part of compassion fatigue. I don't do that. And it just depends on also the type of therapy. Some people who work in like crisis, where like it's more so they probably do get compassion fatigue because that person's in a crisis, which takes a lot of your energy to have somebody kind of come at you in a panic of what's going on for them.
That's like the people that are in hospitals and stuff like that.
Hospitals, more of like inpatient facilities where the people live there to receive help. People who have like schizophrenia or different like disorders that are a little bit harder. But in private practice, I don't see those type of clients. I see people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, life transitions, adjustments, different things of that sort. So it's not as heavy as, like, for example, like domestic violence. People, like somebody who works in a domestic violence may experience compassion fatigue because it's.
Do you see, and this is probably going to be bad phrasing, but do you see that you have the ability not to take on other problems because of what you just said, like the things you deal with, depression, anxiety, life problems, as those being like you problems? Like, it's like, is that, do you attribute that to that, or is it kind of just your ability of not?
I feel like you put up a boundary for that or something.
I think it's more so boundary, more so like a disconnect. And also when you're a therapist, you have a lot of support from others. So we have supervisors that we kind of like vent to. And then they give us instructions on like, oh yeah, this sounds like this, maybe you should look into this. So it
therapists get therapy too.
Yeah, it's really important because you can be triggered by what
100%.
somebody says in therapy, and you don't know it until they say it. And then or you can, like, some people deal with clients who have a different viewpoint from them, so you can't be triggered if somebody says something that you don't agree with, because that's what we're here for, is not to trigger someone else because we're triggered, or treat you a certain way because you triggered me. We have to be able to control that in the moment. So yeah, it's really important for a therapist to have a therapist. Absolutely.
So let me ask my little messy question. I know you can't say like too much, but at least give like what you know, high level, abstract.
Gotcha.
What is something that you've been in a session that has triggered you? Like what was like the context of the conversation, if you can say so?
I wouldn't say triggered. I would say maybe like because in therapy, when I started to become a therapist and take on clients, my number one thing is I never want to cry when someone else is crying.
Okay.
But but it happens, and it is okay for your client to see you crying as a therapist, because I'm still human. Exactly. I'm still human, and it's kind of hard to watch somebody cry and not. And you're just looking at them like still face like. I'm not for you.
Yeah, because listen, like I need my therapist to like be like, okay, objective,
stop.
like
stop it.
Like, you need to be able to assess my emotions. Don't get emotional with me.
But it's not that I'm like I'm stopping what I'm doing to boo-hoo. Like, it's not I'm boo-hooing. It's like you'll see probably like a tear run down because of something you said. It's not full blown. Yeah, it's not full blown. Like, oh my god, I can't.
Man, listen, if I'm sitting with a therapist and I'm spilling my heart out and your ass don't shed a tear, I ain't never coming back.
I want you to be objective.
I ain't never going back.
It just depends on the situation, because if you know that it's something that's hurting someone and they come like they're saying it to you, it's like wow. But that's only happened in certain cases. It's not like if you're crying over something that's like, it's like, okay.
All right, so now that I have because we said now I have the opposite question.
Okay.
What's something that you've been in a session to where you had like the opposite reaction, like somebody sad, somebody sad, and like you start like you got like a little chuckle or some shit, like you just think like damn, like it's your fault.
Right.
I mean, I'm human, so I've had thoughts in session like maybe we should have did that. But I never react to it in session. I never want to offend anybody, and
that's gotta be hard. That has to be hard.
It's really not hard for me. I don't know why. It's just not hard for me. I'm very like.
But you goofy as hell. So.
I am, and I think that is something that I have to watch. But because in our classes we're taught like it's not about you.
It's not,
and it's not about like. We're taught to manage our facial expressions. We're taught to different things to say and when to say it. So we're not just like in the room, just like, yeah, girl, da, 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 da. Like that's. I mean, I'm not, but can't speak for everybody else. But we're taught different things in school, so we're not able to do certain things. Like, am I human? Yeah. Do I have thoughts to myself? Of course, but I'm never like. Oh, you did this? Like, I'm never like showing like that I'm thinking, because it's not about me, and I'm not judging. I'm not judging. So you
should be like the straight face.
The straight face.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Like, yeah.
The cheeks just burning, just to exercise.
Right. No, if they're laughing, I'll laugh with you. If you're smiling, I'll match your energy.
Matching energy.
I'm reflecting what you're doing.
That's what they teach you in communication.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
If you're laughing, I'll okay. But I'll also confront you too. If you're laughing and I know that you're laughing out of like deflecting, then I'll be like, yeah. So let's talk about what you're really laughing at. What's deeper there? What's that feeling?
She does.
That's being straightforward.
Yeah. So it's like you still have to be. It's certain.
You gotta be blunt.
It's called reality therapy, and some therapists do use it where. It's like we confront you on certain things that you're doing in session, or something you told us. We'll challenge it. That's what it's called in therapy. It's challenging. But we want to challenge the client because that's when the deeper connection comes through. Yeah. Because you hold them accountable, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're actually right. I didn't see it that way." Because a lot of people don't have people that hold them accountable.
No, you got a bunch of yes men.
Yeah, or
no, girl, it wasn't. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do it.
There's a lot of that going on. So in therapy, we do try to challenge it.
So I've never been anyone who has been to like a real therapy session besides the one time I tried couples therapy. For someone like me who does not do that, number one, let me ask this: do you believe everyone needs therapy?
I don't believe everybody needs therapy. Do I believe it could be helpful? Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what is one thing that you would say to someone like myself?
Perfect.
No, it matches to it. What is one thing that you think you can say to someone like myself to get them to start seeking therapy on their own?
To get you to seek therapy on your own? It's a good question, but it's also very, it depends on the circumstance, to be honest, because we don't force people to come to therapy. I would never want somebody, I do not like certain people who are forced because it's not easy.
All right, maybe a better way to phrase it would be, how do you convince somebody who is thinking about therapy to actually pursue it?
Yeah, try it out.
That's it?
Yeah.
Simple.
That's all. Because if you're not ready, you're not ready. But if you are in between, I would always say, like, do it before you get to your low point so you know how to control your low points. Because all emotions are up and down. A lot of people think healing is like, oh, I'm feeling better. Yeah, I'm going to feel better forever now. But they don't understand that life brings us like this. So I would always just say, even if you're feeling good, even like with couples, even if you're doing good, it's always good to go to therapy so you learn techniques on how to take care of yourself. Just like you go to the doctor to when you feel bad or when you feel, when you get your checkups. I would say go to see therapy then too. Even when you're feeling good, so you know how to manage those times of feeling good, because it's life. You have those ups and downs, but you learn how to control those downs so that you don't get too far down in that like rabbit hole of depression or anxiety. You know how to get back up even if you get down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
So I don't like to convince though.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that? Like, why not?
Because it's like when you convince somebody to do, when it's not their own idea, it doesn't go well.
It doesn't resonate.
It makes therapy very strenuous for the therapist because you don't want to be here. So that means you're not ready to change. That means you're maybe not as willing to do certain things that we're giving. You're not as willing to use the tools. You're not ready. You have those. It's one of the things where you have to come on your own, and you have to know like, okay, now I'm ready to make these changes. Now I'm tired or I need help.
So with that, do you not believe in like court mandated therapy and like and situations?
Yeah, because that's forced therapy.
That is, and it's very, even in those situations, it's very hard for therapists to deal with mandated because they usually come in and they're like,
oh, so you're not against it. You're just against the difficulty and the challenges that it provides.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And it provides for both parties. If somebody's not ready to do something, they're not ready to do it. Even though with court mandated, I do believe some people do need to be talking, but just because they need to be there doesn't mean that they're willing to participate. Yeah, I need to be here because I have trauma I need to work through, but I don't want to talk about it right now with you. You can't force anybody to relive their trauma or to rework problems that they're not ready even to face.
So you don't believe in like movie situations where like somebody like goes to therapy and shit, and then like, I mean, that's how I want to see it in the movies. I don't know,
and you go with them for time.
It's like you break them down. And it's like oh, and now like they're spilling their guts to you. It's like, oh, I needed this therapy.
Yeah, no, that happens. People still come even though they're like reluctant to come. Yeah, and that's what it's like, stonewalling. Eventually, because that happens a lot with kids, because kids don't really get to say, I need to go to therapy. Their parents bring them to therapy because they're either misbehaving or they're maybe went through something or seen something. So they're not really like walking in their self. So that happens a lot with children where you have to build trust. I'm not expecting you to come in and be like, oh my gosh, this is happening. I'm not expecting that. We have to build a relationship first. You have to trust me. It's hard to just sit down for some people. It's hard for them to sit down and just tell everything from start to finish. But when you're willing, those, like, what I've noticed is people who are more willing to attend therapy, they do come in like, listen, these are the problems. I need this, this, and this. Please help me. Whereas like, okay, cool. Let's work on it then. Whereas when we're stonewalling, it's like you figure it out.
Oh, okay.
And it's very hard. Like, I need to know more about you to figure it out.
Yeah.
But you have to build a relationship.
Build rapport.
Yeah,
So they call it the car
exactly.
business.
That's exactly what it is. You have to build rapport. It's called the therapeutic relationship. You have to be able to trust. You have to be able to feel safe in that environment.
Is trust hard to get?
Trust, I wouldn't say it's hard to get. I would say you got to take your own self out of it and not make it personal.
Okay.
Because everybody has their own reason for not being able to trust or for why they don't trust certain people.
I have a condescending question.
Okay.
I haven't been to therapy too much, but I feel like therapists preach about having boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
When
That's like people who go to therapy preach about having boundaries too.
Right.
So there's like a propaganda shit. Like,
So-
are you selling boundaries? Like,
in my eyes, some of the stuff that people put a boundary up on is just normal stuff that goes wrong in daily life. Right?
yeah, elaborate, please.
Yeah.
I will. So
I just need an example because I need an example because I don't want to laugh at somebody. But
So an example is me and you have a mutual friend that we like to hang out with, right?
Okay.
Yaz isn't so fond of that mutual friend. We try to get everybody together just so this person and Yaz can have that conversation. If Yaz is not ready to have that conversation with this person because she feels like this person isn't mature enough to have that conversation, Yaz can have a boundary up for that person that she don't want to talk.
Yes.
We can cross that boundary by setting them up in that situation to talk, and then Yaz could have a bad reaction to it.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
I understand.
Does that make sense?
But okay, I'm sorry. I be trying not to kill his thunder. So
But that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
I get what you're saying.
I understand the situation, but just
That was me giving you a situation.
is that it?
And are you asking about like the importance of boundaries, or like when do boundaries become like an issue?
Because that's not
Yes.
that's not a good
Well,
example of a boundary.
Well, you didn't let me finish the question. You said I wanted an example, so I just gave you an example.
Okay.
And my question is, when are boundaries set to be good, and when are they set to be? When can they be perceived as bad? Because on one side, if I'm in the friend group and I'm trying to get y'all to talk because y'all don't see eye to eye, y'all don't like each other, if this was the case, I would feel like I'm being a good person by trying to help y'all work it out. But you have the right to be upset with me because of your boundary for this said person to not want to just get upset, essentially.
Okay.
But at what point can each person, I guess, see both sides of what's really going on?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Does it still not make sense? 'Cause
No,
I feel like she's catching on.
I got you.
I understand
I get where
too,
you're
but-
going.
But okay, before you elaborate, just is that not a bad example of? I mean, I understand
It's a boundary.
but that's.
I've
I
heard
get
people
it.
even use it and use the term, and I brought that
Well,
up.
okay,
That's
before
the
you give
easiest
your
way
opinion,
to
let me give
explain
my
it.
opinion. Let me say this. In the said situation,
Okay.
whoever is trying to bring their friends together is not respecting one friend's boundary.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
so,
fair.
So you trying to be a good person is being selfish,
Yes.
and I don't even know the opinion of the other person, but that's just my opinion. Is that it's? I apologize. It's that's my version of it. That's just not really respecting that other person's boundary, if that's what you call a boundary, and that's being selfish on said person's part by trying to bring them together. But yes,
No, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Because your intention as bringing it together isn't necessarily just for that person. It is for you. Maybe it's for you to get everybody to hang out together. Maybe it's for you to not feel bad about hanging out with one person in another group and not inviting the other person.
Trying to save time.
And you're feeding your own self. So I would say when it comes to boundaries, check your intentions. Is my intention just to get this person to meet because of me? Or is it because I want them to enjoy each other? Because if that person has a boundary, it's for a reason. And it's maybe because that person...
That answers the question.
Yeah. But I do, to take it off that specific example, I'm glad you had that. Not just you had to ask.
I just had an
You just
example.
be saying shit sometimes.
Oh
like,
my
I got it.
She was with me the whole time.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
One thing about it is I can follow a conversation. I doing therapy, people always come in and they always come, not saying you were rambling, but people always come in with like either rambling or they're just getting their thoughts out. And I was like, no, I'm following. I see people who are ADHD, so that happens a lot with them.
That's probably me.
Where their ideas go all over. So I'm always following the conversation. Don't ever think I'm not following the conversation. But yes, that would be called, that is violating somebody's boundaries. And that's also what we learned as therapists, is that we're not able to do that. Am I asking you a question because I want to know the answer, or am I asking you a question because I feel like it would help you? Okay.
Are you being nosy?
Am I bringing things up from your past because I want to know more about it for myself, or am I bringing it up because it would help you? That's always our intention, is to bring things up to will help you. So we do have to check ourselves sometimes, like, wait, what are my intentions?
I guess the real question should have been, do therapists cross their clients' boundaries?
Oh yeah, of course.
With therapy.
Of course.
Is that healthy?
It's a part of building a relationship. We don't know. I don't know your boundaries until I cross. And then unless you come in and you tell me, hey, these are my boundaries, this is my yes, my no's.
But to bring up what I just said, let me get this out. But to bring up just what I just said as a point, we don't know your boundaries until we cross them. So
until you say something.
So in that friend situation that I just described, with me bringing this friend around you, I would not have known that it was a true boundary unless you told me beforehand or unless you told me after.
But see, the fact that, I have a problem with that. Because first of all, in the first story you said you knew it was a boundary. And then the second part you said it's a true boundary. Yeah. So it's like you saying, why is it a true boundary? You knew that it was a problem. So like, is it like a problem because it's not a problem to you? It's not a problem?
And you know what, in most cases, for myself, I can only speak on myself.
Situation. Sorry.
Yeah, it's probably just because that's not a boundary.
Yeah.
It's not even a boundary, it's just a problem.
It's not a problem.
Yeah. That's where that comes from, of like, I
Selfish
want you guys to
intentions.
talk, because that person you never know how that person actually feels about the other person really deep down. So
you trivialize the situation.
Yeah, and doing that, you're kind of, I wouldn't say manipulating, but in a way you're kind of...
yeah, that's a strong word.
I wouldn't say manipulate because it is a strong word, but you're definitely doing it for other reasons than what's intended. And that's the thing about boundaries. Just because sometimes people don't take boundaries as serious because it wouldn't be their boundary, but it's not about you. It's not about you when you care about other people. Their boundary is set in place to protect them. So when we look at it more as like, oh, this person is trying to protect their feelings. Maybe they're protecting something that happened to them. Maybe they're protecting their inner child who didn't feel protected. You have to understand.
Maybe that person's stank. I just don't want to be around.
Yeah, maybe they're just not a cool person. Like, it's every reason. Like, you just never know.
That's one person. That's a valid reason. I just don't want to be around a stinky person.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to respect that person. And sometimes if that person didn't initiate the contact, it may be a boundary. Because why couldn't they say, oh, can you set up something to meet with this person so we could talk? So, yeah. But it is important for people to say the thing.
You gotta put it out there. You gotta put your boundaries out there in the air. Please don't act like everyone knows what your boundaries are.
Yeah, that's
Please
important.
state them, put them out there in the air, and be blunt about them is all I gotta say. Do you disagree?
No, I think that we should be vocal about boundaries, but I also think there is a level of respect too, just being human. Would you want that done to you? So some boundaries don't have to be said. We should know them because it's just human. It's just that respect factor of what I want this done to me. Like, you wouldn't want, you wouldn't want to go up to somebody and just hit them. Because would you want that just done randomly to you?
Sound like a kid.
Yeah, and
like your kids.
My kids.
So yeah, it's some boundaries are definitely need to be set, especially in relationships.
Just a little pause break. This is my guy Henry. I know you just been sitting next to him all night.
Okay.
He's been eyeing you down.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
That's our guy.
That's our guy. That's our guy.
He's our castmate.
Oh, okay. Why does he have a mic? Wow.
I mean, actually, you took
You took his mic.
Oh, okay.
He's normally our guest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My bad.
When we have our Patreon episodes.
He got a wireless mic somewhere. Let me go grab that.
Got it.
We have a Patreon. No, don't try my guy like that. It's crazy.
I just wanted to pay homage to my guy.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that, this is just sounding dumb, but you've been saying a lot of like being able to understand internal problems versus external problems. That's kind of like one of the gist I've just been absorbing from what you've been saying.
Okay.
How do you differentiate?
Yeah, like so now. So if you remember, that was my question. Is like as somebody who is going through X, Y, and Z, and who has friends that want to help and fucking be there and be everywhere and fucking talk to them every day and shit. like how do you differentiate your internal problems from external problems and deal with them in a way that you're not causing more external problems because of your internal problems?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that definitely makes sense. I would say internal problems are what you can control, and external problems are what you can't control. So it's knowing what's in your control. So
she good at her
So
job.
simple. It was so simple.
She's so good at her
I'm
job.
sorry. Why did I ask?
She's so good at her job.
I have to break things down like that to kids. So I'm usually very good at putting things into simple terms like that. So
Okay.
I'm a very simple person. So
so it's just that simple of what you can control. I can only control me, and I can only control. I can control how I react to things. I can control my attitude. I can control how I say things, and also what I can't control is how people take things that I say. I can't control how you took what I said.
You can't control perception.
Yeah, you can't control character of other people. So it's different. It's different ways of learning that difference.
all this technology, modern technology, just
it happens. But yeah, that is how I would say with internalizing problems. But also, I think you said
That's
something whereas like internalizing doesn't affect the external part of things, and it's being honest. Being honest with yourself and being honest with others. If you have somebody who's trying to be there and you don't want that or you're not ready, then you would just let that person. That's part of that boundary of saying like, hey, I know that you want to be there, and I'm.
What happened? Yeah,
I know that you want to be there.
you brought up these boundaries.
Bruh, the scenario that I quoted, the scenario that I said, it really came off. Did y'all watch that little Jamaican reality show?
No.
Man, Ghana. It's almost like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but in
Oh no.
like Ghana, Jamaica, Africa. It's in
What
Africa.
channel is this on?
Right.
Oh my god, it's on Netflix.
Oh,
But anyways, y'all gotta watch that because a situation happened on there. That's why I was quoting. But I had thoughts on that because I've done it before in my previous life.
So you brought up a love and hip hop example to this serious conversation.
Africa.
Love that.
love in Africa. That's crazy.
Because I mean, don't
That's
take it.
crazy.
I'm not
To
trying
the
to take it
camel
personal.
cows, that's what you brought
Yeah,
up,
I did
bro.
just get defensive, but I don't take it personal.
And yeah, you made it seem like it was your situation too.
I did not. I was explaining a situation. You said, "Give me an example," so I gave you an example.
I guess. I hear you. I'm not mad at it. Like, go ahead, do your thing, bro. Watch your Love and Hip Hop Africa. I forgot my whole question. I had something teed up and everything.
Oh, man.
You spoke on pivots earlier, so this is our pivot.
Got it.
Hey, man.
Our pivot moment. It actually starts off with a lot of banter. You got anything you just want to get off your chest right now? This is the time to do so.
Yeah. What therapist you beefing with?
I don't have therapist beef.
What office is talking that shit?
Who offers me to go wrong?
I don't have any therapist beef. But because I work for a private practice, so
Nick group, they probably together.
yeah, I barely even see
My
other
squad.
therapists.
Look, she said I don't even see you, bitch.
I don't want to see y'all other bitches. What you talking about?
On another level.
I don't even see anybody.
This when the alcohol kick in.
Oh,
You ain't just see me pour up that beer? Yes, the alcohol is kicking in. Girl.
It's gonna get lit.
I start crying and shit when I
Yeah, this guy.
forget you, man.
Oh, dang, man. You brought up Love and Hip Hop Africa. I had a whole question. Like, it was crazy.
Ask your question.
I forgot it.
he
Man.
forgot. He forgot because Love Hip Hop threw him off.
Don't do drugs.
Completely. Literally. But okay, so I know you've spoken about, we said, not immersion therapy. You spoke about, what was it? Something with a C. I know you spoke about reality therapy, multiple types of therapy. Let me just try to remember. But if you could pick a type or genre of therapy, if that's the right term, like
For herself?
just in your techniques. I know you can do all of them. I know you got a big bag, you just throw that shit over your shoulder and walk up like a goddamn girl in every New Year on the steps and shit. Okay, but what if you had a favorite therapy type? What would it be?
I would say for children, play therapy, and for adults, person-centered therapy.
What is play therapy?
Play therapy.
Play-Doh and shit? Like macaroni?
Somewhat, but play therapy is more like expressive therapy. So it is like
With the water beads?
with sand trays, with
I'm a
puppets,
child. I be knowing all that shit.
different things, drawing, anything. It could be music, anything of that sort.
You know, so this is, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but like circling back on what you were mentioning about, circling back on what you were speaking about the corporate therapy opportunities and like the corporate leadership retreats and whatnot. Though that's one of the techniques. Like you said, it's for children, but like they use that the immersive stuff. Like you put your hand in the sand, is like, and tell me what you feel, and do you feel that you can train the sand to move around your hands, or do you have to move the sand with your hand? Like it's like weird stuff like that. Like they say stuff like that. It's like you have to put your hand. Like that was one of the exercises. Like you put your hand in the sand. They say like you need to move the sand to the side. And do you feel that you can train the sand to move it to the side, or do you have to push it to the side? It's like weird stuff, but it's like and you think about it, and it's like you try to, because they tell you you can't move your hands, so it's like. Do you think you can do it without moving your hands, just moving your fingers, or do you have to move your hands? It's real like technique, but it gets you
What's your
thinking.
answer?
Oh, well, I didn't do that part. They break you off into groups, and I didn't have that part. I had an actual airplane part.
All that, and he didn't even do the shit.
I'm just telling you, like, I know that's part of it. I had the part where the part I participated in was we had to build paper airplanes.
Right.
So they give you a piece of paper, and it's like they give you a piece of paper, and and whoever can have the airplane with the farthest. And so I got third place, gang. But our team overall, chill.
Top 3, bro.
Chill, bro. Our team overall got second.
Let me hang.
So top 2, nigga. Yeah, made it correctly.
Top 2.
It's okay. Shadur Sanders got picked 144.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. So back to your so you said play therapy for children, and then what for adults?
Person-centered therapy. It is where you see the client as an individual,
One-on-one.
and you work on them.
Is that not like, am I not always an individual?
Some people use different
That's
techniques
crazy.
where they see like maybe the family as a unit. Like everybody is a part of the actual family. Maybe like we all act the same or things like that. Whereas individual, person-centered is you are the center of the therapy. We are working on you and how we can make you better.
So in that situation, is my family in therapy with me?
In that situation, your family is the basis of the therapy.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
So you're trying to fix my family and I'm paying for therapy?
Trying to fix not your family. We're trying to fix you, not fix you. We're not even trying to.
We are trying to.
We're
fix
trying
you.
to discuss the things you went through with your family, because that may be the reason why you're in therapy.
The root
is
of
your
it all.
family. Exactly. So person centered, we see you as the roots and how we can make you better for your environment, and the other way around is like seeing your environment as the whole, and how we can help you work that environment better.
They like, so like if I walk to like office, like do they get like them boxes like I'm person centered and
No.
reality based?
No.
Like,
It depends.
because I don't want nobody to see my family. Like I'm paying for this therapy. I need you to
No,
fix
those
me.
are called family sessions. So it's not that. But there's different techniques for different people. So
Okay.
it's not usually some therapists do have just I work this, that's it. And some it's just as needed, whatever you need in that. It could go from one to the other. In between session, we may start off as one thing and then be in reality therapy by the end. It depends on what you need in that moment.
Oh, so you like quick pivot?
I was gonna say, how do you know what to use at them? Is it what you trained on?
Yeah, it's what you're trained on. It's just what comes kind of natural too, as well, for some people. And it's just knowing what your client needs in that moment. So knowing certain things that they're saying.
Okay.
What qualifies a therapist as a therapist?
What qualifies us as a therapist?
Because I feel like I can be a therapist to some people, but I don't.
You my therapist, bro. But we gonna start setting boundaries though. Just
Fucking boundaries, bitch.
See, look.
exactly, bro.
You failed your first damn therapist. I'm being a therapist. Thank you.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
So
it,
what qualifies us? I wouldn't say anybody can be a therapist, because it's not just one of those things.
Yeah, I could.
Just
like,
one of those
Yeah. It's
I don't think I'm not empathetic enough. 'Cause I'm the person I would laugh. Like,
Yeah,
you tell me some
you
crazy
gotta-
shit, and I ain't crying with you. That's like, nigga, what?
I would be overly sympathizing with people.
Yeah.
Me personally.
He trying to be everybody friend and shit.
Yeah.
Derek was trying to see this shit through. Like if you have like a bad problem, like Derek was like,
Are you good, Derek?
He would like pull up to the house like after the therapy session. like,
Y'all straight? That'd be me.
I heard y'all's having family problems. So
Right.
Go ahead and get your wife in the room. You know? he just like bending boundaries. The wife don't want to talk to the
Right.
nigga.
Yeah, we gotta work on the
Linda,
boundaries.
go
But
ahead.
here's the thing. I know how to get the motherfuckers to talk.
Look at him. How?
Well,
Look
you
at
just
him.
gotta see.
With no
It's a
experience.
charisma, bro. It's a charisma.
It's experimental therapy that we're working
That
on.
is crazy.
Listen, bro. Some of them cardios be therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go ahead and buy your wife a new car.
That's
that's his type of therapy. What's it? It's sales therapy.
Just come over here.
That's a new one, bro.
See how this
Yeah,
goes.
Happy wife, happy life, bro.
Yeah.
Just go and buy some.
She ain't gonna be mad if you brought this car home.
I think everybody does a little bit of being a therapist, whether it's family, friends, work. I think we all have either had someone vent to us, or whether, you know. So I think we all play that. I think what just qualifies us to do it is we do it more often. And we get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And we went to school to do it. And we...
The little shit, right?
Yeah, therapists have to go through a lot of training, though. We constantly have to be learning, because everything's constantly changing.
And then like I know we talked about this last couple times I've seen you, but like what you had like 1,500 hours or something like that.
Yeah, to be fully licensed, it's 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
Is it unpaid too, right? Some shit like that.
Well, for school it was. Don't give me the line. For school, I think it was about 1,600. And those are unpaid for some people.
So she just lets the people vent for free.
Yeah.
She being a friend.
That was when you go through internship. Yep, you gotta do it.
All right. So, what are your rules for yourself on making friends with the people that you see?
I don't.
I knew that was gonna be your answer. Why?
Yeah, because it's just a level of, you don't want to be seen as a friend giving advice. I want my clients to always see me as the professional in the room.
That's fair.
So is it hard sometimes? Because you do want to break that character of like, girl, just do this, but you can't. So I have to say it the professional way of like, well, maybe we should think about it this way. But a lot of people think therapy is you come into therapy for someone to tell you what to do in life. A lot of people come to therapy wanting answers, but we actually can't do that. It's actually really, really unethical for us to give answers, because if I give you an answer, you can go out and do anything.
Exactly.
Like when my therapist said that I should do this, no.
And then I can sue you when it don't work.
Yeah, and
Or my life
it's
goes
not
to
okay.
shambles.
Exactly. So we don't tell people what to do. We just ask you questions to make you change, to work on your perspective of your situation and how we can connect your dots. That's it. Yeah, people are like, tell me this, and I'm like, I do not do that. So.
That's a nice way just to wrap everything up and just sum it up like, we don't tell you what to do, but we gonna guide you.
Exactly, we gonna work with you.
Yes. Wow. An old serial entrepreneur turned into a therapist.
Yes.
Over time.
Mm-hmm.
From pivoting.
Exactly.
Y'all don't be afraid to pivot. Sometimes it's necessary.
Pivot like Randy Moss.
You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Yeah, my pivoting days, they're not.
No, let's not pivot anymore.
Let's not pivot anymore. I actually like this way.
Yeah, they're over of pivoting into different industries.
And we didn't get to you being a mama, but like you successful mama too.
Yeah, that mom shit. You just taking over the territory. You just gotta do it, okay?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it just has to be done.
I say that as far as within all that pivoting, you raised Chase, a great young man, so he comes to be his son.
Parents out here,
right? Parents,
and you you're in your bag now. Like you're on the top of it. Like don't get too deep now.
Right. Absolutely. I got most important hats that I have now. So I don't need to wear it.
I know
my top two.
I know it's more to come. And you know what else? Listen, we're gonna have to bring you back because one thing that all these hats we didn't touch on how you got a pod too.
Yeah.
So
no, we can ask. You know.
I mean,
it's about
you already played the outro.
Exactly. Like,
you hear it?
Yes.
No, the music can keep going. That's okay.
If we got a couple more minutes,
okay. Yeah,
it's actually your time that we on. You know, we paid booth rent this week. This week booth rent.
I didn't pay. I'll be real with you. I just got paid.
You guys really need some boundaries in this. There's no boundaries.
Right.
And what?
You're not paying, and you're not.
Hold on. I don't like how she phrased that.
You're not paying.
You're not paying your booth rent,
and you're not respecting boundaries. I don't know.
It's crazy.
You just told me you ain't paying.
Yes. How much you lose an hour? We might need
we
might need an HR department.
Y'all need a corporate wellness retreat.
Literally.
So please,
something's not right. You gotta work on that.
Tell us what you do with your podcast.
So my podcast.
This is our collaboration episode.
Right. My podcast is Aligned in Power podcast. It is about mental health, and it is interviewing different entrepreneurs and just people in the community about their mental health and how they have worked their way through it.
Literally. So it's literally a connection, a arm, a branch, if you will, off of your day job.
Absolutely. It is just, it's not therapy, but we talk about how people have overcame certain things, because sometimes we tend to think that we're the only person
going through these things.
Mental health can be very isolating. So we tend to think we're the only person, and we tend to think sometimes with looks, people will say like, how do you have a hard time and you look like this, or you have this and you have a home?
Prejudged.
Yeah, and it's way deeper than that. So I always just like to interview people and get a deeper story, because we're all dealing with something or have overcame something that the next person is going to go through.
Look, he itching to say it. Go ahead and say it.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
Go ahead and say it.
That's the overall foundation of what we want to bring. We want to bring another outlook, another perspective. You bring the woman perspective, which a lot of people want to listen to.
Got it.
And what I've learned is a lot of men say crazy things on these podcasts trying to just get a name and stuff out there that most women don't want to buy into it because of the outrageous things that they say. That's not what we about.
Yeah.
I'm all for empowerment. I'm all for you telling about you sharing your story, you letting everyone know how you can help benefit them.
Right.
That is what True Finesse Podcast is about.
Okay.
And we are 100% grateful that you was able to bless us with your presence.
Thank you.
Dead ass. I'm glad my sub pulled up. Listen, y'all don't know.
Gotta pull up.
Listen,
Gotta pull up.
we literally talked about this at Tay Baby Shower. And then just ass. She pulled up.
Pulled right up.
From the bottom of
This is my first schedule. This is my first scheduling opportunity too, guys.
Well, we're scheduling.
I got good guests.
You know what I'm saying?
Good job. More to come.
More, you hear her?
Yeah. But yes, thank you guys for having me. It was great.
No,
being able to talk with you guys today.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
No, we really.
Listen, hey, so listen, before we get out of here, Aligned in Power podcast. Go ahead and check that out.
Aligned in Power.
We're gonna put a little
Right.
the more you know.
Aligned in Power.
And then also shout out your handles as well. Where can the world
we
find
forgot
you?
to say that
Yeah. I'm not on
nothing.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My podcast is
where they can find that pod?
Yeah, they can find it on Instagram at Aligned in Power Podcast, and
Okay.
then you can also find us on YouTube at Aligned in Power Podcast too.
And is it spelled correctly? Aligned in
Yes,
Power?
yes, no
Okay.
extraness.
No.
Aligned in
It ain't
Power.
Elijah.
No extra.
A-L-I-G.
Right, no underscore period, no none of that. Just,
All right.
just that. Sure.
Good deal. So yeah, go ahead and please check her out because, like I said, all the stuff that she was talking about all these types of therapies, how she's helping people, and how these experiences have not only shaped her but shaped the lives of the people that she's helping, shaped my life. I'm literally a walking
testimony.
Yeah, this is my little plug. Listen,
Yes.
Yaz don't see me cry, guys.
I'm gonna come holler at you. I don't really know
We don't have
talking
some
to a
moments.
therapist.
Yeah,
We
I
might
got
have
you.
to
I got
spread
you.
some ones and twos.
No, for real, but
Real
definitely go
East
ahead,
shit, man.
go ahead and check her out. That's my sub, and this is only the beginning. Like I know, like I said, she gonna take this one to the moon.
I like it. You're vibrant.
Thank you.
You know what?
Appreciate it.
You're the type of person I like. Just hop on with this is how it comes to the therapy session. Get jiggy, hey, Let me stop. Thank y'all so much. We are True Finesse the podcast. Tap in with Aligned
In Power.
Aligned in Power, aka my sub, Yazmen.
Renee. Thank you again for coming out. Listen, y'all tap into both of our shit. Y'all want to see the tags. Y'all watch, subscribe, follow. We are out here for you. This has been beautiful, but one time, True Finesse Podcast. We are outie.
Bye. All right.